Hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS, and this is your daily current affairs dose for Prelims 2023. And in this video, we're going to cover the various news of various newspapers of 30th October 2022. So let's begin. The first news is with respect to the Kala Namak rice. ठीक है जी. सो व्हाट हैपेंड वाज काला नमक की राइस में देयर वाज दिस प्रॉब्लम ऑफ लॉजिंग. उस लॉजिंग की प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए साइंटिस्ट्स हैव मेड टू ड्वार्फ वैराइटीज ऑफ इट एंड दैट आर पूसा नरेंद्र काला नमक 1638 एंड 1652. ठीक है. सो लेट्स सी काला नमक. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट व्हिच यूपीएससी कैन आस्क, दैट इज इट हैज अ जीआई टैग, you should remember it. Second, from where does it derives its name? It has a black husk, so that's why इसका नाम काला नमक पड़ा. Then you should know that in its GI application itself, this was mentioned in the newspaper itself, that in the GI application there is a story about Lord Buddha mentioned. So Lord Buddha, when visited the people of Sravasti, so he gave them Kala Namak rice, which shows that, or the reason was, this Kala Namak rice has a beautiful fragrance attached to it. So Buddha wanted that whenever next time he visited people of Sravasti, they should recognize him by the fragrance. So yes, this Kala Namak rice has a fragrance as well. Then there was this problem of lodging. So what do you mean by lodging? Let's understand it via diagram here. So let's suppose this is a rice plant and this is a fruit area of a rice plant. Okay, so this fruit area becomes very heavy due to the heavy production of fruit. But the stem area gets weak and ultimately what happens, this plant falls on the ground. So to treat this problem, the new varieties have been developed by this Indian Agriculture Research Institute, and these new varieties, what happens is they are dwarf in nature. So even when this becomes heavy, it does not fall on the ground. All right, to tackle the problem of lodging. So that was it with respect to this news. Let's move on to the next news. Next news is with respect to the curcumin. So what happens is there is a disease which is known as mastitis. ठीक है. So mastitis disease को naturally treat करने के लिए there is scientists have found this substance called as curcumin. So let's read what is curcumin. So curcumin is a yellow pigment which is primarily found in this turmeric. All right. So it has basically two properties. The first property is that it is antioxidant, and the second property is that it is anti-inflammatory as well. All right, anti-inflammatory as well. So what happens is scientists have found that this curcumin offers immunity in the dairy cattle to fight the infectious diseases including the mastitis. ठीक है. तो इसको naturally हम use कर सकते हैं to fight mastitis in the dairy cattle. So then let's what becomes important for us is the mastitis. ठीक है जी. In mastitis, what is mastitis? इसमें क्या होता है यार, जो breast tissue होता है ना, उसमें there is a kind of inflammation, you feel pain, there is swelling, there is warmth and redness as well. ठीक है. So it happens both in humans. UPSC can confuse you that this mastitis is only found in animals. No, it is found in humans as well, and in humans it is found in during the lactation period, and hence it is called as lactation mastitis. ठीक है जी. जब when after the giving birth the women do breastfeeding to their children, so at that point of time this disease is found in the humans as well. Second is the bovine mastitis, and in bovine mastitis it is also the inflammation which is found in the this dairy cattle. All right, and this is one of the major problem in the past year which has led to the reduction in the dairy milk production. ठीक है जी. And if we talk about the treatment, so no vaccination is available as of now, so you have to remember this as well. Then there was this counter-terrorism committee news. So the context was that recently India has raised an issue in UNSC, that is United Nations Security Council, that since the end of 2021, and that is the period since when this FATF has eased some restrictions on Pakistan, and it has then resulted into the steep rise in cross-border terror activity. So India has this concern. So then CTC becomes important. The first thing you should know that the CTC was established by the UNSC resolution 1373, right? In the previous video we did the UNSC resolution number 1267, which has this terrorist list in it, है ना? And Masood Azhar has been listed under it. So we did it in the previous video. So this CTC was by resolution 1373. So UPSC can put a question that in the match the following, right? So do remember this. Then you should know the composition. It contains all the 15 Security Council members, and then you should know the time period when it was formed. It was formed after the post 1911 terror attack. And then recently in 2004, what happened was that this CTC established its executive directorate, and that was established by 1535 resolution. All right. Then The last point which you have to remember with respect to this news, that recently it has been declared that India will be chairing the UNSC Counterterrorism Committee in the year 2022. So that was it with respect to this news. Then there is this Salmonella typhimurium DT104. So what is it? So basically it is a bacteria. ठीक है जी. So that causes this infection. So this salmonella is a bacteria which causes the infection. And उस infection से होता क्या है यार? This infection infects the intestinal tracts. ठीक है, तो ये intestine को infect करता है. So next question which UPSC can confuse you is with कि ये यार मतलब कौन, which of the following organism gets affected? So all the animals as well as the birds get infected by this. The next question can be that is it transferable to humans? So answer is yes, ये humans को भी transferable होता है. But then what is the solution? But when the solution is that if we cook the animals properly before eating them, ठीक है, so thorough cooking kills this bacteria called as salmonella. All right, so do remember this. Uske baad, if this has infected the cattle, so these are the symptoms. If it has infected the humans, these are the symptoms. So do read them from here. Then there have been two other strains of it. So the one strain is ST313 and the other strain is DT104. If we talk about the ST313, so it is a non-typhoidal bacteria, non-typhoidal strain, and it infects the bloodstream. All right, do remember. It infects the bloodstream. But if we talk about DT104, so what is it? It is a MDR category. What do you mean by MDR? So that now this Salmonella DT104 has developed a resistance against drugs which were earlier useful for treating it. ठीक है, तो अभी इसके लिए यूज हम नहीं कर सकते. It is showing resistance to those drugs which were being earlier used to treat it. ठीक है जी. So this was with respect to this news. Then there was this endogenous retroviruses or ancient viral DNA. The context was that recently scientists have discovered these in the human cells as well. So hota kya hai? Let's understand it in crux. So there has been a certain endogenous retrovirus being found in the human cell. So what is the entire concept? The concept is that there is, whenever some virus from outside, let's say this is a virus from outside which is going to infect our body. So these viruses which are already present in the human cells do try to fight these viruses and do not let these viruses attack the human cell. So this is the entire concept of ancient viral DNA. All right. So right now they have been found in the genomes of mice, chickens, cats, sheep, etc. And recently the scientists have found them that around 8% of the total human genome accounts for endogenous retrovirus. All right, so that can be used to treat various diseases as well. Then comes about the transfer. So it has, this retrovirus has two types. There are some types which gets transferred to the other generation of an individual. For an example, when this retrovirus infect the germ cell of certain individual or the egg or the sperm cell, then the offspring of that parent would also be receiving this retrovirus. But there are some other retroviruses which don't pass from one generation to other. All right. So that was with respect to this news. Then there is this Jangi Thopan Powari hydroelectricity project. So the first thing we should know is the location of it. So it is located in the state of Himachal Pradesh. Then you should know the river. The river is River Satluj. Then you should know the type of this dam. So this is a concrete gravity dam. What is its height? So 48 meters. So in the last video, we did that. Large dams are the ones which are above 15 meters and the total number is 5,000. Such dams are there in India. So it falls in the category of large dams. All right. We did the two projects, that is DRIP and Dharma portal, in the last video. So do refer to it. Then you should know that when this hydroelectricity project would be completed, it would be encroaching some of the areas of this forest called as Chilgoza pine. And Chilgoza pine is in the area of the countries of Afghanistan, India as well as Pakistan. All right. Then there was this term mentioned in the news, that is Deinococcus radiodurans microbe. So what is it? So it is the world's toughest bacterium. Why we call it the world's toughest bacterium? Because it is an extremophile. What do you mean by extremophile? This bacteria can withstand the most radiations which a human body cannot. Or in other words, if we say that the amount of radiation, let's say that is one which can be withstood by a human. So it can withstood 1,000 times more amount of that radiation which can be proved lethal to the humans. Okay? So scientists have found that this can, because of this extremophile abilities, it can also survive on Mars. and it can survive for Mars for 280 millions. That's why this bacterium was in news. All right. Then mark on map. So Spangur Lake was in news. Pengur So was in news. So do mark it on map. This is your homework. Then Pangong So was also in news. So do mark it on map. Then Doctrine of Pleasure International Conference by Election Commission of India and COP27 Summit in Egypt. ठीक है जी, we was held. Your homework is do mention in comments that where was COP26 held. Alright, so these have been beautifully covered in our monthly magazine. So do subscribe to it and read them from there. Important from examination point of view. Then finally, good news for you all. We have brought the prelims crash course for 2023 where you can complete the entire syllabus in just 200 hours. We have already initiated it in the online format and now we are also bringing it in the offline format. That means the classroom program will be now beginning for this, and at all our centers, that is Bangalore, Pune as well as Delhi. Since this is an offline course, so we have limited seats, so do register on prior basis. Alright, so this was for this video. Thank you so much guys. See you in the next video.